All right. Hello, hello. Welcome, boys and girls, to another episode of Thoughts with Jesse here. My name is Jesse, and I am rocking the Ground Sounds sweater tonight. Sitting in the Ground Sounds studio. Obviously, love doing what I'm doing. So, what I want to get into is what I'm going to start doing with these. I know I have not been on in the past few weeks. I have had a lot of personal stuff with the family that's been going on that I don't want to get into, that we've been dealing with. And I thank you for everyone who has reached out on that matter. um, what I've also been going through is I was in a car accident last weekend. I had a lady run a red light and hit me. And now I am trying to go through the hassle of getting a rental car, getting my car in the shop, getting my car fixed, knowing that my insurance is going to take care of it. I'm trying to get them to take care of it. At the moment, Liberty Mutual is not doing the thing. So, but no worries. God is good. God is great. God would not give me any problems that I could not deteriorate. As I sit here and I explain to you that I can rhyme just as I can, as I sit here and talk with my time. I do anything and everything. I like to be myself, and I like to drink from the top shelf. Yes, I am a sinner, and yes, I may not be the best, but I'm going to tell you what. I'm not sitting here messing around. I'm telling you what I'm going to do downtown because I'm ready to go. Now let's listen up because, all right, back to what I was talking about. The way that I'm going to start doing these episodes is I'm going to have a couple of main topics that I'm going to talk about. For right now, one of them being the Columbus Blue Jackets. I would love the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I would want to keep talking about them. Honestly, they're a very exciting team right now. There's a lot of drama that's been going on, and I have a ton of things to get to. What I'm going to continue to do with these Thoughts with Jesse's episodes is I'm going to have like segments, multiple different segments that will run, so that anytime that I come on here, I'm always going to be talking something to one specific topic. That way it's not so random, so out of line. You kind of get a gist that you understand, like this is a Columbus Blue Jackets podcast today. I might talk about some Ohio State Buckeyes on another podcast. Like these podcasts, I think I'm going to try to get them very general and very to the point with one topic. But I do believe I'm going to keep the Thoughts with Jesse as a personal podcast. But as sorry, I'm typing here. Obviously, I cannot multitask. I need to figure out how to multitask. They say it makes your brain denser, but I'm not sure. I guess I would find out when I was 80 or 90, but who knows? Who knows what will happen later in life? Older people know some things that will just happen with your body. So obviously, take care of yourself and make sure you're eating right. What I want to kind of start off with this is kind of pick up what I've missed in basically the last 2 weeks. So to catch everybody up, the past 2 weeks, the Columbus Blue Jackets have, I feel like, starting to turn a corner. Now, still a lot of different things to talk about with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and how they're kind of going at getting these points, how they're getting these wins, how the team is gelling, and really how the lines are starting to look, especially with so many new players. I think I had added it up. I think it was 7 new players coming in so far in this year, which has been, we had Mikko Koivu, who actually just retired, which is something we'll talk about very kind of briefly and just kind of overview. The veteran that came from the Minnesota Wild, who was going to be kind of a veteran in a center that we could sit. I feel like he was going to be kind of a fourth line center, was going to be a guy that you wanted. He was going to be gritty. He was going to get you some good goals, but he was also going to be able to teach like Texier, who was going to potentially be the next like center. But I keep looking around, and now with what they've done recently, they've put in Kevin Stinlin, Jack Roslovic. Really, Jack Roslovic was kind of not considered much in this trade for Pierre-Luc Dubois Pierre-Luc Dubois on a third-round pick for Patrick Lanier and Jack Roslovic. Jack Roslovic is on a 6-game point streak right now with a 4.59 line. So 4 goals, 5 assists. And coming off last night with a 2 goals, his 4th multi-goal career of his. I mean, this is a unbelievable hot start for Jack Roslovic. And also within the few weeks that we've been off, Jack Roslovic had a game-winning goal against Carolina. I think everyone in the NHL world knows what I'm talking about when he went in between 2 defenders by getting the puck, throwing the puck back to his skate, and then kicking it right forward to himself, going in between the legs of the goalie for the 3-2 leading goal with only like 6-7 minutes left in the game. Unbelievable. This kid everybody knows, is born in Columbus, Ohio. He's a hometown kid. This is really a feel-good moment for Columbus, as a Columbus Blue Jackets fan, as a hockey fan in Columbus, Ohio, and just as an overall organization for Columbus Blue Jackets. This is just amazing. This is great. And for everything that's happened this year with the PLD, not like benching or not wanting to play, blah, 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 and just to have something like this for this year, because I mean, obviously we didn't know. I mean, for a lot of casual fans, I don't think they really know Jack Roslovic. I mean, personally, I am trying to get better at knowing other teams' players, and I generally only know really the top stars, I feel like, and the Blue Jackets. So I'm trying to more expand my knowledge on who's in the NHL and who's playing and who are some prospects that we could look at. But that's kind of what this whole podcast is about, is just getting better for me, being in front of camera, talking to you guys about what's going on during basically during the entire NHL season of this pandemic. I mean, this has been a wild, wild year. I mean, think about it, people. We are almost 1 year, and we're just a little under about a month until pandemic really was hitting the United States. And it's unbelievable. I'm going to try to keep this podcast about sports. I want this to be something that we can talk about and really get away from this type of stuff, and really get us to think about some things that are happening right now during the pandemic that are showing signs of going back to some normalcy. With one of those being the Columbus Nationwide Arena is finally in talks of potentially in the next few weeks getting fans set up. So what I am actually going to do is I'm going to pull up and I'm going to have what they said. I'm going to read off what Columbus said. But in the meantime, this is huge. It's almost 2,000 fans. And for guys who have been following the Blue Jackets now for the past 20 years, maybe even just the past like 5, maybe even just like me, I feel like I've been following the Blue Jackets for almost the entire 20 years because I knew this, but like I grew up kind of following the Pens with my dad, and truly I ended up becoming a Jackets fan because I watched more Jackets games than I did Penguins fans. And I mean, honestly, obviously being in Columbus, they're going to show the Jackets game. They're not going to show the Penguins game. So that makes sense. But I felt like I really had, it took some pride. I felt like when I'd go and watch the Columbus Blue Jackets, it was like, this is my hometown team. And now after they sucked for ever. They didn't make the playoffs, I think, for the first 8 or 9 seasons. And then in 2008, they made the playoffs with Steve Mason in goal and RJ Umberger against the dreaded Detroit Red Wings. Got swept. Not a good way to start, but I think started probably in 2010, 11, 12. Started to really get into the Blue Jackets and started to really be interested in what was going on. It really took me a while to get into hockey and to really understand like a lot of what was actually happening and really understand the rules. So that's kind of like my background of how I got into being a Blue Jackets fan, as well as just like a general hockey fan, because I love now kind of like seeing now being a lacrosse coach and a former lacrosse player. I mean, you see like these sweet goals, which I mean honestly really adds up to me. Like it really get kind of like the stick skills and the actual endurance part of just both kind of mimicking with lacrosse and the comparisons between lacrosse and hockey. Now I know there's really two different sports, like two completely. Lacrosse is more done in the air, less so on the ground, more so if mistakes are made. But that's besides the point. Let's get back into what I was talking about here with the Blue Jackets. I'm going to bring up this statement. Here it is. So the Columbus Blue Jackets official statement on fans. This is on fans coming back this year and how in the near future we could expect potential opportunities to see these Columbus Blue Jackets, which personally, I think this could be one of the best Blue Jacket teams we will see ever. So far, I should say so far, because the more and more, we'll get into this a little bit later, but the more and more I see this team play, and the more and more I'm excited, and the more and more I think that this team will be able to get to a point that they will just be on all cylinders and be an elite championship threat. The statement by the Nationwide Columbus Blue Jackets organization and Nationwide Arena, the Columbus Blue Jackets are very pleased that the plan we presented in conjunction with the Columbus Arena Sports and Entertainment has been approved by Columbus Public Health to allow 10% of Nationwide's capacity, or 1,953 fans, to attend games at our facility. Our understanding is that Columbus Public Health will share its recommendations and submit this variance request to the Ohio Department of Health for final approval. We have spent a great deal of time and effort to provide a framework for fans to safely return to Nationwide Arena this season, and appreciate the work for our local health officials throughout this process to date. We are excited about the possibility of welcoming the fifth line back to Nationwide Arena, and look forward to hearing from state officials in the near future. Should final approval be granted, we anticipate final preparations to welcome fans back in the arena to take at least 2 weeks. So, what does that mean? That means that once the state approves their basically their file to have fans back in the building, the state will approve, and they will let them know you are allowed to have fans back in the building. It will be a 2-week process getting with the regulations with the Ohio Public Health and understanding how they're going to be able to do this. Now, 10% is not much, but how I've been explaining things with my lacrosse kids, we may not like what's going on in the pandemic. We may not even all agree with the same things of what's going on with this pandemic, but we all have one goal: to have professional sports back and fans back in the buildings. And if that means we have to do it very slowly to get back to full capacity, we'll do whatever we have to do. I personally want to be at a Blue Jackets game so bad. I miss being in Columbus, where I can't go down in the winter to go see the Columbus Blue Jackets play, especially with this team being in third place in their division with the likes of Tampa Bay, Chicago, Dallas. How about Nashville, who really isn't played too well so far, but beat us twice. I'm just saying. And then you also look at Carolina, who's a very good team. You easily look at Florida, who is, I almost a doppelganger of the Columbus Blue Jackets with big old Bob, Sergei Bobrovsky in the net, as well as having, let's see here, who else is down the line? Anthony Duclair. Then there's Bob and Winberg. Alexander Winberg. Yeah, I was like, what's his first name? There's 3, and then there's the defenseman. I want to say Carlson, but it's not Carlson. I don't know why I keep thinking Carlson. Oh my goodness. I can't think of it, but there's a defenseman, and then I believe there's 2 more, and then if you want to go with, I think it's Bill Zito, who is the GM now, who was the assistant GM with Yarmo here in Columbus. So, for me, that is the Columbus Blue Jackets 2.0 team down there in Florida. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is a tough division. This is definitely going to be something that's going to be very interesting the rest of the time. Now, going back with what's kind of happened with the team just in this past 2 weeks, we've had the Mikko Koivu retirement that was on a day off. So we now say goodbye to Mikko Koivu, which a blessing. I feel like a blessing and a curse in the Blue Jackets standpoint as a fan and as an organization. I wouldn't say it's a disappointment or even like a waste. Like, you don't have to pay that guy the rest of the year. He only got paid for the few games that he played and the amount of time that he was here. The fans you look at, you're like, this is a center that we're kind of like weak on, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think this is a team that has a lot. We have a lot of guys that are wingers that can easily go and play, that have played the center position before. And I don't want to say that like not having like center, like true centers, having true centers is obviously a weakness. But Jack Roslovic has shown that if you look at the PLD trade, it was basically Lanier for PLD, and then Jack Roslovic was thrown in for the pick. So I don't care who they get in for that 3rd round pick. Jack Roslovic is already the number 1 line center, and he's better than whatever that pick will be. He's beaten him out. Now, Patrick Lanier has been on off. There was the benching, there was the benching where he didn't play the last 26 minutes of a game 2 games ago. Not the game last night, but the game on Tuesday. Or no, it wasn't Tuesday, it was Monday. The game on Monday against Carolina. Now, the Blue Jackets won that game 3-2. Patrick Lanier, I don't believe was sat because of effort. People are saying like he didn't do the defensive shift, so he got benched for that entire game because of it. And I don't believe that. I think there was something done else. I think there was something said that shouldn't have been said by Lanier. Now, that is just from what I've seen in the post-game interviews, in the little bit that I've gotten from Tortorella and Patrick Lanier, and the quotes and stuff, obviously, and everything that this is all been from them that I've been digesting this. And the biggest thing that I keep going back to is what Patrick Lanier said, I believe right after that Monday's game, where he said he deserved to be benched. He said that. And he also said that he respected that because it showed that not the best player on the team. It doesn't matter who he is, or if you're the best player or you're the worst player, you're going to get benched if you're not doing what you need to do to be a Columbus Blue Jacket. And he saw that as, okay, I'm going to be coached to be the best player in this scheme, not because I'm not going to just play every game because I have a great shot. And then really, I feel like in some ways that says to a player, okay, he's going to coach me. He's not just going to play around with me because I'm really good. He's going to tell me, like, you got to do this, you got to be better. There's things you can do better. And I like that. I like that he said that. And I do like, as much as it's a cop-out for a lot of coaches to say, yeah, well, I'm just going to keep it indoors and players keep it indoors. I don't think Lanier is going to be like upset about this. He seems like a very laid back guy, and he doesn't show his emotions a lot, because even when he scored 2 goals a couple games ago, he had 2 goals. I think he had just 2 goals. I don't think he had 2 goals and assists. But he had a really good game with the 2 goals. I believe that was when they lost 6-5, actually, against Carolina. So actually, that was Sunday night. So really, if you think about it, in the last 3 games, Lanye's had 2 goals, an assist. I believe 2 assists. I'm going to double check that right now. But with everything that's happened with Lanier and everything that was said by Tortorella and by Patrick, I don't think he sees this as as anything negative for this team. I think Patrick Lanier sees this as this is a very good team, and I'm not going to come in here and disrupt everything just because of I'm a good shooter and I have a deadly shot. Now, I will say Patrick Lanier has a great shot and is from last night was his 5th game he's played. 5th game he's played with the Blue Jackets. You can tell that everybody is looking where he is. When he has the puck, you can tell there's 3-4 guys looking at what Patrick's going to do. The best thing that I'm seeing is he's looking up. He's seeing the thing. And after I'm done talking with this, I want to talk about last night, and I'll get into a little bit of what I'm going to dive into now. Cam Atkinson. Cam Atkinson starting to look similar to that 2018-2019 season where he had 40 goals. He was with Panarin. He was the man. Him and Panarin. And now I'm not saying this is like the Patrick Lanier, because some of this could be Jack Roslovic, because that line of Patrick Lanier, Jack Roslovic, and Cam Atkinson is unbelievable, people. They all had a point last night in the 6-5 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. Was an insane game. Absolutely insane. I honestly am really blown away by how they really pulled that off. But going back to the Patrick Lanier, he draws people on the ice. He draws attention, and he has the ability to look up. He has the ability to actually really skate by and get fancy and deke somebody out or something like that. But I love what I'm really seeing as a Blue Jackets fan. Now, I'm totally biased about a lot of this because I'm a diehard Blue Jackets fan. But the biggest thing that I see that's different from the typical Blue Jackets from year to year is one off. Let's talk offense. What's what I see different? There's part in the offense where they have games. Now, this has been kind of inconsistent, but when they're on it, you see that the offense is maintaining the neutral zone not the offense. The defense is getting back and maintaining the neutral zone. The offense is maintaining the puck and getting pucks down deep and getting them close to net, getting shots on goalie, making the goalie uncomfortable, and really just getting helter-skelter and getting that puck going. Now, the other thing that the offense I'm seeing is they're making more crisp passes and they're getting open looks. I mean, now this goes back to how I was talking about how many people have come in this season to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Before the season, you had Max Domi get traded for Josh Anderson and a pick. I think it was 2 picks we got or something. Max Domi comes in. That's a whole new different player. You also had Mikko Koivu that we talked about. You had Grigorenko. I think it's it's Grigorenko. I cannot remember his first name. I'm terrible with first names. But Grigorenko, who came from the KHL and has been like lighting up and having really good offensive numbers over the past 4 years in the KHL. It's a little bit different here in the NHL, but I definitely think he's gonna be a really good piece. Right there's already 3. Then you got to think Kevin Stinlin has been in the lineup a little bit more. Benstrom was playing, and he is not playing anymore. Then you have the trade for Patrick Lanier and let's see, Patrick Lanier and Jack Roslovic. So that's 6, including bench or no, Stenlund. That's what it was, Stenlund. So that's 6 people. That's different. And then you take out the PLD, the bench from take out Zach Werenski now in the last 4 games, however many that Scott Harrington has come in. That's 7 people right there. They just put in Andrew Peak for the first time because of Kukin stepping out. So there's an 8th new player. So this is really talking about how many different lines there have been, because that's not even including the line changes that Tortorella has been putting in. Now, a lot of back and forth. Well, if you can't, how can you get consistency when you're not on the same line? Well, I don't think I understand like the whole consistency with your teammates, but I think you can get consistency in a game with anybody that's around you. Yes, certain players do certain things that you have to get used to, but I think this is going into what happened last night that I believe these lines will start to stay the same. Now, I want to go and look up this game last night, because if you didn't watch it, you didn't watch any highlights, you have missed out on some serious back and forth hockey. First off, final 6-5 Blue Jackets in regulation. That's 11 goals in one game. So I don't know about you, but I like offense. I love defense. I was primarily of like a defensive midi in high school, so I understand that. I get it. But at the same time, man, that offense was pretty last night. It was sloppy. There were some sloppy parts. I will admit there was a lot of sloppy parts. I was talking to one of the coaches I work with in Pickerington, and he was telling me that he was like, we just couldn't get the puck out of our zone and we couldn't do stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but part of that's Patrick Kane. It's Patrick freaking Kane. And then the other part of that is I feel like if you look at how we were towards the end of the game, I felt like we were better. Yeah, there were some times that we weren't able to get that puck out of the zone and we paid for it. And then there were other times that we just were bad. It was just bad defense. I think 3 goals shouldn't have been on because of just flat out bad defense. But really, we start off with Atkinson's shorthanded snipe. This was unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. I just wanted to let you know. So Chicago's bringing it out of their blue line. They're on the power play. They just started. And Cam being Cam has he actually is up a little bit, up a little pressure. Nothing too bad, but just enough to make you think about what's going on. The guy tries to split both him and Foligno because Foligno's up at the blue line and he's skating forward or skating backward, but is just enough that he's there ready to go if anything comes his way close. So the guy tries to split both of them. Cam slaps at the puck, knocks the puck away, ends up going right to Nick Foligno. Nick Foligno, brilliantly, throws the puck up just a little bit in front, and it's just enough that Cam Atkinson can go back behind the blue line, come up to the puck, grab that puck, just kind of get himself set, just watching, snipe. Top left corner, beats. 1-0 Columbus Blue Jackets. Okay. First off, it was a beautiful goal. Once I get some stuff figured out here at the office, I will be able to start showing goals, and I will have them up while I'm talking about them. We will get that going. Not tonight. Tonight, right now, I am a little behind on everything, and obviously it's a little late. It's 10:11. I'm normally trying to do these at 4. Anyway, first part of that was Cam Atkinson's 4th goal of the year. Ties him for second on the team with 4. I think there's 4 or 5 people at 4. I'll check that in a minute. That was his 3rd shorty of the NHL season. So 3 of his 4 goals have been shorthanded. He leads the NHL now with 3 shorthanded goals. There's only 2 other people in the NHL that have 2, and then there's 50 or 52 people that have one shorthanded goal. So a lot of shorthanded goals, personally. Kind of blows my mind that there's that many already this early in the season. It's about like 15 games for some, and then in between about 11 to 15 for teams right now. Unbelievable. And that also put him for the franchise record, 15 shorthanded goals in a career as a Columbus Blue Jacket, passing Rick Nash, who had 14. As a fan of the Columbus Blue Jackets, this was just really cool. This is a super, super amazing goal. Super nice to see. And honestly, it's really good to see Cam get these goals because, I mean, people know, like when Cam scores, it's awesome. When Cam's not, not having his great session, he looks like the worst hockey player you could ever put on the ice. At times, he's very frustrating, I feel like. But when he's hot, he is like lights out. He is amazing. Just like this game, he ended the game with a goal and 3 assists. So we will talk about 3 assists down the line. He had a 4-point night. Hopefully he has a lot more of these coming down the road. Very excited about what's going to happen with Cam Atkinson. I'm hoping big things. I'm hoping 80-point season potentially. I'm hoping him, Lanye, and Jack Roslovic can get some serious points going. After that, it kind of just went downhill. 2 really kind of dumb goals. First one with Ian Mitchell and Nick, or is this? I don't think this name's Nick. Nikita. No, that's Nikita's. Who is Bearden? It's Bearden. I don't know. I think it's Bearden. It's probably not Bearden. I'm probably butchering this. This is good. Hockey has a lot of weird names. I need to get better at this. Here, we'll listen to it on this. But essentially, it was 2 rookies that got quick goals. Less than 2 minutes into Bodowie. Bodan. He calls him Bodan. I don't know why it's an I then, but it's an all right, Bodan. Bodan with Mitchell. They scored within 2 minutes into the second period. So as a Blue Jackets fan, you know that I was ripping my fucking eyes out watching that because it was the weakest defense I've seen in my life twice in a row within 2 minutes. So basically back to back. The Columbus Blue Jackets did not notice a dude on the backside, just totally left him wide open for easy, cheap goal. But 2 rookies, they got their first goal. Good for them. 2-1. Third goal is freaking Suter, Patrick Suter. If you don't know who Suter is, he's a pain in the ass. He basically, I feel like, is Patrick Kane's like Thunder buddy, dude, partner in crime. That's probably totally wrong. I don't know the Columbus Blackhawks like true system and like their like who I know Patrick Kane is like their super all-star and their stud. But I don't really I feel like watching them in this past I think it's 3 games this year. I feel like Sutter is that guy that's kind of like the Robin. But he's a pain in the ass. I'm not a big fan of him as a opponent, but I respect his game. I really, really do. He's got a really good offensive force, but yeah, bad for Blue Jacket fans. Anyway, 3-1 here at this point. Obviously, this is in the second. There's time running down. We're 0-1 on the power play. The freaking Blackhawks have killed 12, 13 straight power play kills. I think it was 12 coming in, and then they had the first one on us that they stopped. And then from there, we ended up going on the power play. I believe it was Stenlin who drew the power play or the penalty. But biggest thing was Jack Roslovic, hometown kid, gets the second goal. So it's 3-2. On a hard one-timer that just went right by him. Like just a good goal. Just a nice snipe. And Jack Roslovic showing why he wanted to get out of Winnipeg and why he thinks he deserved a better spot than what he was with all the talent around in Winnipeg. And I mean, Yeah, I mean huge. Like you literally were like this when that went off. Boom, cannon, goal. That's what you want to see as a Blue Jackets fan. There's a lot of that, a lot of those Reds. But that's what was going on. I felt like they had. You could tell the momentum was shifting from that goal. To know that there was like there's about how much time left? 2 minutes left in the second. So definitely a kind of a quick goal right at the end. I thought there was actually a little bit more time than that for some reason. But Max Domi and Seth Jones get the assists. I think Foligno just got the assist in the first one. I don't think I mentioned that. Yeah, and that was his fourth. But moving on. Down 3-2 now, going into the third. Once again, the Blue Jackets let Patrick Kane score a goal, and Patrick Kane, I believe, has 61 points in 51 games or something like that for the Columbus Blue Jackets or against the Blue Jackets. So I absolutely hate that, honestly, but I hate anybody beating the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's just me as a diehard fanatic. It's how it is. It's how it was, how it will always be. Probably my kids will be the same way. It's how my dad is. We're diehards. We're stubborn. We don't give a shit what you people think about us, and we're going to tell you what we think. It's probably why I got a podcast to tell you guys what I'm thinking about this. I'm kind of letting loose tonight, just letting you all know. Not trying to be mean, not trying to be dirty, just trying to tell you how it is and what I think. Yeah, Patrick Kane scores freaking great. 7th of the year for him. Good for him. Next goal that comes out, Cam Atkinson. Once again, Cam Atkinson, big time. Cam Atkinson takes a shot. It goes off the bar. Boone Jenner goes out in front of goal. Jenner comes up, slaps it in for his 4th of the year, which is, huge, dude. Pretty sure that's more goals than he already had he had entirety of last year. When Boone Jenner's scoring goals, like a lot of times for the Columbus Blue Jackets, that means good things because that means somebody else is scoring. But this year, this team feels different. This team feels good. This team feels like somebody that is going to. You just don't want to run into this team, I think, in the playoffs if they gel right. I think if people are, we're only 15 games I believe 15 games into the season right now. There's 56. So we got 41 more games. There's a lot of time for these guys who came in and to really gel, to start to understand one another and to really understand who they are. Get right back into the next one. So that makes it a 4-3 game after the Boone Jenner with Cam Atkinson and Kevin Stenlund getting the assists on that. Cam's 4th and Stenlund's 3rd. So that is the first assist of the 3 by Cam Atkinson. So now we go to the next one, which Jack Roslovic, his 2nd of the game. Cam Atkinson got the assist for his 5th and his 2nd of the game. Patrick Lanier also got the assist. Now, this is really what we've been wanting from a first line since Panarin left. Really what we want is we've been wanting this line to be a dominant offensive force that we can put out there and know that they are going to compete for points. Jack Roslovic being on a 6-game point streak right now, going into tomorrow to try to make it 7, with a 4-goal, 5-assist, 9 line. That is just an unbelievable start, especially for the guy. The kid's only 23. Like, he's got a 2-year contract right now, so he's going to be here through next year. I definitely think he does great things, and I think Yarmo is crazy if he doesn't try to sign that kid to a long-term deal. I think they get an extension done. I think they might throw another 4 years on there. Hopefully, I think maybe even 6 or 7. I think he's easily a number 1 center from what I've seen so far. I don't want to say I'm pulling the trigger too early. I hope I'm not. I hope what I'm seeing is going to be something for the future. But he's a calm, cool, collected, confident kid, and I definitely would. I'll go to battle with a guy like that any day. So basically, what happened on this play was Lonnie was coming up the the thing, flicks up a pass off the boards to Cam. Cam goes down and tries to make a shot, which ends up getting blocked by one of the defenders. It ends up going right past the front of the goalie, probably about a foot or two in front of him, all the way over to Roslovic, who was swinging down the other side to pick that up and shoot it in the back of the net. His fourth goal of the season so far as a Blue Jacket as well. Also, obviously, like I've said, 4 goals and 5 assists in the past 6 games. So he's been on fire. But that makes it 4-4. And I'm not going to lie, I was screaming and jumping up and down. I was losing my absolute freaking mind. And then, so that was 7:50. That was about 8 minutes into the third period. About 5.5 minutes goes, or no, not 5.5, about 5 minutes goes by. And boom, they score again. It's 5-4 Chicago. There's under 7 minutes left. And I start to get nervous, and I start to get in the, here we go, the typical Columbus Blue Jackets that get in these fights or these shootouts, and we can't get over 4 goals. The problem that I've always seen with the Columbus Blue Jackets is that we get down and we can't score enough to keep it within. That's why we always had to have really good goaltending that kept us in games, because if we had a goaltender that was giving up 5-6 goals, we weren't ever going to win, because we couldn't score 7 goals in a game. We didn't have a Sidney Crosby. We didn't have a guy, Evgeny Malkin. I don't know why I'm thinking of only Penguins right now, or Brad Mishaw, Alex Ovechkin, and Austin Matthews. We had a Pierre-Luc Dubois, but he wasn't I wouldn't say he was a scorer, but he was a true center. He was a true center that could definitely, I think he was growing really into truly becoming that elite center. But the problem is he didn't want to be in the Columbus Blue Jackets because he thinks the stage isn't big enough for him. For me, I think that's a bogus call. I think that's him kind of doing a cop-out, saying that he just didn't want to be in Columbus because he didn't want torts riding his ass the rest of his career. I'm sorry, but in the words of Yarmo, was it hard to trade the 3rd overall pick in the 2016 draft? No, because we got the 2nd. Well, the 2nd overall pick. And that guy is Patrick Laine, and I just sit here and I think to myself, I'm like, this guy is going to be good. He's going to get through. He's already got 3 goals with the team. I'm telling you, this benching wasn't that big of a deal, guys. I just think that people think this benching was like the biggest deal, and it's making him not want to stay in Columbus, and he's going to move away. Oh, my God. Okay, first off, he's a restricted free agent, so let's all take a sigh of relief, because what that means is that whoever makes an offer, the Blue Jackets can counteroffer that. Now, what they can do is they will sign him for any of that money, and I think Yarmo is definitely going to do that. I don't think you let Patrick Laine walk away. The thing is, Patrick Laine is, I think he's somebody that will be here. I think he's somebody that is starting to understand like what this team's about. I think he's starting to understand how he can truly help this team, and he's starting to now see that this team, when it's here and it's gelling, we can grind wins out. This Columbus Blue Jackets team is different. I tell you, I mark my word, February 12th, 2021 at 10:26 p.m. This Columbus Blue Jackets team is a different team this year in 21 season, and they are going to compete. Now, let's continue in after this 5-4 part in the game. It's really, really starts to get intense. The Blue Jackets are pushing, obviously. Haven't had an empty net, haven't taken out the goalie yet, but they are pushing hard on offense. And I think they had it in the zone for about 1.5 to 2 minutes before Michael Del Zotto happened. So this is the 3rd and last assist by Cam Atkinson, and Andrew Peeke also got an assist on this. His first game, his debut for this season. He's a rookie. He's only played a few games, which all the games I think he played. Well, no, he had a couple regular season games, and then he played in the playoffs when they swept Tampa. I believe that was the first time he played. I'm not exactly sure on that. Do not quote me. But anyway, Cam Atkinson comes in and he hits this top post. And I am talking, he hit it dead on. He beat the goalie. If it was a couple inches down, this is a goal for Cam. This is the second of the game. It'd be a second assist, a 4-point game. It goes right off the pipe. And at first you think, oh my God, I can't believe, here we go. We're going to get this close. Here comes in Michael Del Zotto. Comes in, sees the puck, gets it, puts it in the back of the net. Like a vet, like a Stanley Cup champion that he is, like a typical guy that's going to come in. And I got to say, kind of just got the swag to come in there and do that. Now, I mean, he had the little fist bump and everything. It was great. I loved it. First goal as a Columbus Blue Jacket. It's always big to see that as one of these new guys coming in. Also, I think that was one of the guys I didn't mention. So there's 8. That's 8 new guys. Just so you guys know, that's 8 different guys like that really didn't either start with us last season or had not started the beginning of this season with us. So 5-5. Oh, by the way, that's with under 3 minutes. So 2 minutes, 41 seconds left in the game now. It's 5-5. Obviously, the Columbus Blue Jackets have a lot of momentum already. They come back, and they score. Kevin Stinlin. This guy is got his opportunity yesterday as a second-line center. Was a winger, got a hell of a shot, does the plays on the power play. He's going to, if he continues the way he's been playing, he's going to continue to make big plays like this. Kevin Stinlin, basically what ended up happening is Del Zotto passes over to Bjorkstrand from the far side of the ice. If you're looking at the left, if you're looking at where the Blue Jackets were to left side and their goaltender, and the Blackhawks goaltender to the right. Shoots it over to the Bjorkstrand, kind of closer to center ice. He passes it up to Kevin Stinlin, who hits his stick, and he pushes it forward off a little bit, takes kind of a little wide bounce, ends up somehow getting it gathered out and just out-muscles the guy next to him, his defender, and puts it right between the 5-hole of the goalie. Make it 6-5. I honestly lost my mind. As a Blue Jackets fan, that was so crazy. The absolute endorphins going off in your head for that. Unfreaking believable. And this is why this Blue Jackets team gives me hope. There were 4 goals scored in that third period. Yes, the Blue Jackets maybe were not perfect. Obviously, you never are perfect when you give up 5 goals. But this right here basically shows me it's like no matter what it takes, it doesn't matter if it takes 6 goals or if it only takes 1. The Blue Jackets can win any game that they play this year. They have enough guys. I understand that Zach Werenski is hurt right now and he's not playing. I understand that Korpisalo didn't exactly look his best last night, and neither did the defense, forwards and defensemen. Great until kind of towards the end a little bit. I take that with a grain of salt because there's a lot of good shooters on that. Just a lot of good offensive guys on that team for the for what's his face, Chicago Blackhawks. Basically what I see in this Columbus Blue Jackets team this year is I see something that has been building. This is 4 straight years now. This would be, if they make the playoffs this year, it would be the 5th straight season that they made the playoffs. And if you want to say it's all bogus because of last year and how they made the playoffs, they went to the play-in, they won their play-ins, and they made the playoffs against the Stanley Cup champion now, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I do say, if the Tampa Bay Lightning lost that 5 overtime for game 1, they would not be the Stanley Cup champion right now. There's no way. Don't believe it. I don't believe it. But Patrick Lanier probably wouldn't be here either if that happened. So it's all about certain things happening in the right moments. And it's all about timing. I mean, it's crazy how God is with that. But I am excited for this team. There is a lot of different storylines going on. Right now, the Columbus Blue Jackets have won 2 straight. 3-1-0 in their last 4. They have now matched with the 2 wins that they have against Chicago this year, which, just so you know, it's a lovely little stat I got here. The Chicago Blackhawks in the last 12 games are 5-2-5. 5 wins in regulation, 2 losses in regulation, and 5 losses in overtime. Do you know who the 2 losses are in regulation? Yes, the Columbus Blue Jackets. The 2-1 win for Columbus, as well as a 6-5 win last night. And they play the Chicago Blackhawks tomorrow. I'm super, super excited to see who. I think, honestly, we should go with pretty much the same people, same exact lines that we had. I definitely know that Patrick Lanier, Jack Roslovic, and Cam Atkinson are going to be line 1. I think line 2 is probably going to be Max Domi. It wasn't. Is it Nick Foligno that was 9-2 last game? I cannot remember, guys. What? Let me check. I know I've got the lineup somewhere right here. Oh, here we go. Essentially, okay. Patrick Lanier, Jack Roslovic, Cam Atkinson, Max Domi, Kevin Stinlin, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Eric Robinson, Riley Nash, Nick Foligno, Malika Grigorenko. Oh, Malika. I can't. I'm butchering this, dude. I'm so sorry. Boone Jenner, Alexander. I've been watching too many Walking Dead. Alexander Texier. Let's see here. Gavrikov, Seth Jones, Scott Hartnell. Scott the Dad. That's what we called Dad. Scott Hartnell when he was playing for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Scott Harrington. David Savard, Michael Delzato, and Andrew Peak. Personally, I like line 1 and 2, and I think 3 is just a grit and grind. And then with having Grigorenko and Texier and the 4th line has been like unbelievable, especially just having Boone. This is good. And then I think this will be good because I think Corpy needs a rest. I think Corpy's had a couple games going on. I think Elvis will hopefully come in. Gabriel Carlson. Hold on. I didn't think Gabriel Carlson played for who'd they call? What? They must have called up Gabriel Carlson. When did this happen? I usually pride myself in knowing like all the call ups and stuff. I must have missed that. Let's see. Gus is out. Oh my goodness. So what was that? November, December. Let's see. December, January, February, March, April. So it'd be like right about playoff time that he could potentially be back. Davinsky's not. He's on long-term IR. But yeah, personally, with the defensive lines, I like Gavrikov and Seth Jones together since we don't have Zach Werenski. He's day-to-day is what it says, so I'm assuming he'll probably not play this Saturday, tomorrow. And then, so I think it'll probably be Gavrikov, Seth Jones again. I think Harrington is deserving of pairing up with David Savard. And I think Delzato being the third guy, the third line with whoever, he's just been a consistent force. So, you don't take him out. Keep him where he's been. He's been fine. He's a vet. He's a pro. He knows what he needs to do. Line 1, line 2, I'm totally down with because I would want to see Domi, Stenlin, and Bjorkstrand. It just looks like 3 offensive studs in the first 2 lines. Each line is just stacked. And then to have that Eric Robinson, Riley Nash, Nick Foligno, knowing that those guys can score too. They're not often, but these guys, they're going to come in there and they're going to get their stuff. They're going to just be Blue Jackets. Nick Foligno, you plug him in with anyone, he's just going to go crazy and just be a madman. Grigorenko, I really think is going to be somebody that we watch out for. One thing that I honestly, me and my roommate have been, or my former roommate, a good buddy of mine that we've been talking about is really the depth that we have here now in Columbus and how Jarmo has shaped this team with prospects that are not just prospects that can come up and play. You look at Stenlin, a guy that or even Bjorkstrand who came up through the system. You look at Cam Atkinson, who's been here his entire 8 years, I believe, or no, it's 10 years, I think, with Cam Atkinson, and then 8 years with Boone Jenner this year. You look at Texier, another good draft pick, Gaberkoff. You look at the trade for Seth Jones. I mean, the pickup with Michael Del Zotto, which, I mean, he was a free agent. He picked Columbus. Like, so to sit there and say that people don't want to come to Columbus is kind of a lie, because there are people that have been coming here. Now, Mikko Koivu, who he's retired, and I don't blame the guy. Like, he just kind of got bumped out. Like, he really, I mean, the center game that you're looking at, and this is after the last 6-5, you have Roslovic, Stenlund, Nash, Jenner, and Texier you could throw him back in there at center. And you can run Nick Foligno, you can run Max Domi. Like, personally, I think Max Domi is going to end up taking the center with Stenlund, unless Stenlund ends up continuing to do what he did last night, which would just be a stud and get a goal and assist every game, which I'll take that. If I'm a player, like, I'll take 2 points every game. You're telling me 56 games times 2, I'm getting 112 all day. I think Bjorky I still want to keep saying this and telling people this, because I definitely think Bjorkstrand is going to have a year. I thought Bjorkstrand was actually going to be the one on Patrick Lanier, and I thought that was going to be the reason. I still think, even with everything that's going on, that Oliver Bjorkstrand will be one of the more breakout guys. Cam Atkinson having his go right now has really been huge. Just to really see everything. I want to pull, he's got 4 goals and 6 assists right now. Like, the dude's got 10 points. I mean, you look at the top right now, with points, it's 12 with Bjorky, 10 with Atkinson, 9 with Roslovic, 8 with Tex, and 8 with Foligno. I'm feeling good about this team, because I feel like this team will get better on the defensive side. I don't feel like those games last night are going to be I just don't think those are going to be games like that all the time. Now we've kind of talked about a little bit of everything. One little fun thing I want to talk about now: the freaking refs getting the play wrong in the Carolina game, so here's the first thing. First thing. I'll let you guys know about this. Okay. So the Carolina game is it's tied 3-3. Carolina scores on a kind of all over the place type of goal. Really bad defense on the Blue Jackets, but they get a goal. The Blue Jackets challenge it, which obviously it's a 4-4-3. And if you don't get the challenge right, you get a minor penalty. So that's 2 minutes, man down. So what happens is they look at it and they say that it is a good goal. It's fine. But what I come to find out is that actually, when they had their headset on, somebody who had their mic open, who shouldn't have had their mic open, saw what we saw on the first replay, which the first replay does not show the entire ice. Says, "Oh, that's a goal. That's easy. That's a goal. That's a good goal." The ref said, "Okay," and left on. Now, because of COVID and because you have to sanitize everything, the guy who is sanitizing the headset heard in Toronto yelling and screaming that they are wrong and that they need to take that goal away. Blah 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 blah. So they give him the goal. They drop the puck. And as an NHL fan knows, once the puck is dropped, it is final. Just as a football player knows, once the next play is snapped, you cannot go back to a previous snap before that snap. So essentially what just happened, because what they did is they played out a minute 15 of the penalty. Man down. Nothing happened, luckily for the NHL. Or I guess unluckily for the NHL, because it means even more on what would happen. So they come into the locker rooms and they tell them that this was a bad goal, or this was not a goal. The penalty is being taken away, but not the goal. Which doesn't make a lick of sense, because there's 45 seconds left on the penalty. Now, as a hockey fan, knowing that once the puck drops, And once it happens, like it happens, and you can't move on. That makes sense. But to come back and then take the 45 seconds off, why not just take the goal off then at that point? Why does it really matter if you take the goal off at that point if you're already taking off 45 seconds of a power play for the Carolina Hurricanes that they also got a minute 15 power play where they could have scored? Questions I have as an NHL fan. Questions I have. Anyway, I'm gonna probably wrap this up. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. Been trying to get kind of like everything together, and I'm just happy that I get to still get to do this, talk to everybody, and have a good time. I'm hoping that we can keep on scoring goals as a Jackets team and keep supporting that CBJ Blue boys and girls. Keep it up, keep it live, keep it real, and just know, go CBJ and beat Chicago tomorrow. Let's get those 2 points. Don't know why I'm itching my nose right now, but it needed it. All right. Bye-bye.